Welcome back to the Story of Liberty. This is your host, John Bona. The gospel of Christ is indestructible. It's invincible, and even the weakest Christians are very precious in God's sight. We know death itself has no power over His children. But the secular world never understood that. You could go all the way back to Rome when the empire was weakening and the barbarians were threatening. Morale was low. And the leader at that time, Trajan, he was the ruler who decided to blame the Christians for the weakness and the dissolvement of the empire. But it wasn't the Christians that destroyed Roman civilization. It was the Huns and the Goths and the Vandals. These barbarians who came from the pagan region of Northern Europe, they smashed a Rome that had been long weakened by the decadence and immorality. Well, the empire, he thought if he removed the leaders of the church, that the entire fabric would dissolve. So he issued arrest warrants and went out across the empire for prominent Christians. And it ignited this first empire-wide attack on the church. Fabian was a bishop of Rome, or a pope as we would call him today. He was arrested and became the first to die. We know that he improved the organization of the Roman Church. He divided the city into 7 congregations with a deacon in charge of each section. And he directed work on the catacombs. It was in those very catacombs that he worked on that his broken body was later buried. But the church was not buried. The gospel of Jesus Christ continued. Those brave Christians in Rome wrote from their prison to the bishop of Carthage. And they said, "What more glorious and blessed lot can fall to man by the grace of God than to confess God the Lord amidst tortures and in the face of death itself? Confess Christ, the Son of God, with the lacerated body, and with the spirit departing, yet free to become fellow sufferers with Christ. Though we have not yet shed our blood, we are ready to do so," he said. Well, Trajan, he was the Roman leader. He died the next year, but the church he persecuted is still going strong today. Well, we see that this area eventually converted to Christianity. And over time, it was Christianity that civilized these rude people. Christianity didn't overrun and lay waste to a learned civilization. Christianity found a continent that had already been laid waste. The Dark Ages, if you were the consequence of Roman decadence and barbarian pillage. Slowly and surely, it was Christianity that took this backward continent and gave it learning and order, stability and dignity. And we see how the monks copied and studied the manuscripts, and they preserved the learning of late antiquity. When there was once wasteland, they produced hamlets, and the people developed towns and eventually commonwealths and cities. And throughout the years, that savage barbarian warrior, he became a Christian knight. And these new ideals of civility and manners, yes, and romance, were formed that shaped our society this day. Christianity produced all these good things. Christianity brought liberty to a dark nation.